With a big win for Cesaro, a punk rock Billy Kay and Roman Reigns finally getting his comeuppance, it's time for this week's WWE Smackdown review. Be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't before we start, and let's get started. Smackdown opened with a recap of last week, and then we cut to Roman Reigns in a nice comfy chair. We'd see a lot of segments of Roman Reigns sat in a comfy chair this week, as I feel we have done for quite a few weeks recently. Paul Heyman is on a mission to get Adam Pearce to sign the contract this week. However, Roman Reigns wants to make some changes. First it is no DQ, then it is last man standing, and during one of these segments we have Apollo Crews sat in the background. Nice little character development there for Apollo Crews. Our first match is Shinsuke Nakamura against Jey Uso, a big moment for Shinsuke after the gauntlet match last week and showing that they are trying to keep his momentum going. The big news here really is the return of Shinsuke Nakamura's original theme, which is just really fun to sing along to, and that's why they played it 3 separate times. First, when Shinsuke came into the match, second, after a brief promo between him and Jey Uso in which he knocked Jey Uso out of the ring and celebrated, and third, when he won the match. In the promo beforehand, Jey Uso did allude to the possibility that we could see Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. During the match, Cesaro did come down to represent his partner. It seemed to tease there could be a breakup in their future, but after joining commentary he wasn't really used all that much, so it's hard to say. We had a brief sighting of Sonya Deville backstage with Adam Pearce, and then Jey Uso threatened to ensure the referee Charles Robinson didn't have a job at the end of it. Jey Uso is feeling very much like the schoolyard bully who follows around the actual schoolyard bully. Our next match is Liv Morgan against Natalya with their representatives in their corners. Billy Kay comes out with the Riot Squad dressed in Riot Squad gear and does a much better job on commentary than Cesaro was able to do earlier. This is a short match, but it is filled with some good spots, particularly Liv Morgan being hung up over the top rope. That looked very impressive, and a couple of good suplex moments. Liv Morgan, however, loses the match when Tamina chases Billy Kay into the ring. The distraction serves to give Natalya room for a roll-up and a victory there. Looks like Billy Kay is still looking for a partner. Our third match is Baron Corbin versus Rey Mysterio, and Baron Corbin gets the win here. A large part of the reasoning here is likely that Rey Mysterio only has one member of his family instead of the usual 4. That may have something to do with it and may have stopped him from beating Baron Corbin. In a brief promo afterwards, Dominic questions whether Rey has just given up, and it is suggested that they will need to call on someone else to deal with Baron Corbin. I'm hoping the someone else isn't Cain Velasquez. I'm also kind of hoping it is. In a brand new segment, Bayley now has a talk show called Ding Dong Hello. I like that she makes people come in through the door. It reminds me a little bit of the old APA days, but this was not an APA skit. This felt a lot like the This Is Your Life segment that Alexa Bliss hosted, where she tried desperately to make it good, but it didn't quite work because the writing unfortunately just isn't up to the standard they needed. Bianca Belair is Bayley's guest, and the two have a decent tete-a-tete, but ultimately I don't feel this really furthered the feud much. In a Here's One We Made Earlier feud, we see Daniel Bryan working with Otis and Chad Gable when he's interrupted by Cesaro. Cesaro essentially tries to humiliate Daniel Bryan, who stands up to the challenge, and this results in a match on this week's SmackDown. It's a very good match, very high paced, really shows what these two can do if given a little bit of time, and it's a bit of a surprise winner because Cesaro wins clean as you like. Daniel Bryan is on a bit of a losing streak, and Cesaro and Nakamura are certainly elevating themselves. Our final match is brief but meaningful. It features Sami Zayn and Apollo Crews, and though the match only lasts about 3 minutes, it is jam-packed with action. I do feel they were starting to run out of time here, so these two were not given very long, but they were able to do good things with it. Apollo Crews gets the win, not clean, and I see way more of Sami Zayn's arse than I particularly want to, but I have to give credit to Big E, who's at ringside, lounging on a long chair with a fruit cup. The fruit cup was the right choice. After the victory, Apollo Crews grabs the Intercontinental Championship, and he and Big E have a nice little talk out stare down. It's very good, and I would like to see Apollo get another chance, which he will do next week at the Intercontinental Championship. Our final segment lasts only 5 minutes, and it is the culmination of the contract signing dilemma that has been going all the way through the show. Adam Pearce comes down, takes the seat, but Roman wants that chair, so he has to get out of that seat. it really is starting to look like the pride before a fall for Roman Reigns, and once the contract is signed, Adam Pearce fakes an injury and tags in Kevin Owens to be his replacement using some of the legal jargon present in contracts that no one ever reads. This for me was an extremely good SmackDown. There were some sections that were lacking. The Ding Dong Hello section I wasn't a big fan of, and the Sasha Banks vs Carmella section, which I didn't really mention, just isn't really doing much for me at the moment. They've got a very strong women's division, but they're not quite kicked into gear just at the moment. I'd imagine after the Royal Rumble, things may get a bit more sensible, as it were. Match of the night was a very brief Sami Zayn versus Apollo Crews match, not just because of the people involved, but because it was a very hard-hitting, high-impact match and both men got to look good in sections. What I will say is that having Roman Reigns basically run throughout the entire show, as they have done pretty much since September, is definitely working, and SmackDown at the moment is on a high. I've been Tom Colohue, this has been a SmackDown review. Thank you if you have left a like or subscribed, and I will see you next time.